Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time's with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Lord Zedd. So, let's get started. This is one of those things where we get our first real villain out of the Lightning Collection line. And he's happened to be really hard to get. He's one of those things that's one per case. And it's a little annoying because had to search high and low. And definitely there were people out there who wanted to help me. And I ended up getting one. So here I am reviewing it. It's a really nice figure. One of the discrepancies I want to talk about is that Zedd has gone through some changes, three particular over the years. There's him without the tube, which looked a lot more menacing. It looked like a guy with no skin. There's this version with the tubes, kind of toned down just a little bit. And then there's that movie color version of this. So this is probably the second one we'll get in the series. I want to say we got the second form, where it's him toned down after parents complained back in the day. Something I didn't know about until I actually had to look into. But anyway, let's get to reviewing this figure. This figure is absolutely really nice. While the others are hyper articulated and have the proportions of Power Rangers or people just in their suits of Power Rangers, this is the proportions of a dude in a muscle suit or a muscle dude still in a muscle suit, and it just gives off those crazy vibes of villainy. This is really dope. I know in the box it shows a more red version of him. I actually prefer this crazy flesh tone skin craziness that is Lord Zedd. It actually keeps him very menacing and very cool. So anyway, let's jump into the articulation. The head can look up, it can look down, actually pretty far down considering that menacing grin. You can't really tilt left and right unless you lift the head up. Then you can tilt it slightly left and right. You get your butterfly joints that you've been getting so far with the Legacy Collection stuff, which actually extends pretty far for him. As you can see, it extends really far back and actually can extend forward. And you can use them to bear hug your opponents into submission if you really want to. You can actually use it to clamp his hands together as well. One of the issues that I'm having with my Zedd is that his feet, although don't wiggle, when you put them down, it kind of just, I don't know what that's about. It could just be me, but it may be an issue with other people. But at first it wasn't, but I'm guessing it's from wear and tear. Mine's very easily that you get that. The ab articulation is actually, you can see it in its full potential here. You can tilt side to side. You can actually rotate all the way around. If you want to dance with Zedd, this is very much easy with him. You actually already get one tuck, and then you can tuck it even far forward. So if you actually wanted him to sit in any sort of throne for Zedd, it is actually very easy for him to do so. As you can see, he can tuck to a very nice throne-like stance. Zedd has tons of articulation. He has the look, and he has the feel. And, for this one, I want to say he actually has the paint job. Because it's one of those things where, he can pose very easily, as I'm holding him up, though. But he'll be able to hold the pose, too. It's pretty dope. You still get the thigh swivel as well, which I thought was going to be hindered by this piece. But they wrapped it around above the cut, so it still rotates. And that's pretty dope. Legs are double jointed. Oh, didn't even know this could come out. That is totally new to me. Okay. So that just happened, and it came out as I extended it too far. Even though his legs are double jointed, the tubes won't allow it to go too far. So keep that in mind. Oh, I didn't know that could come out. So definitely keeping that in mind. The ankle pivot is all there. Don't let these little pieces fool you. They're soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about that. I was having an issue before with mine's going forward and backwards. Once I heated it up, that was no longer an issue. So, yeah. This is one of those things where I learned something new about Zedd as I played with him more and more. So as you can see, he could pose here very easily. He could take stands very easily. He just, without doing anything, he already looks menacing. So it's one of those things where this is one of the better villains that we've gotten, and it's only the first wave. Doing Zedd was a great choice, in my opinion. It's one of those things where if you've already gotten your SHF Power Rangers or your Sentai teams and you just want a villain, this is a great first step to get him in the wave if you didn't have to go through too much trouble of getting him. So this is dope. For $20 Zedd, this is hands down great. As far as accessories for Zedd, you're going to get the one hand that's open, and you're going to get the hand for holding his staff. And the staff is actually really nice. Very simple, very to the point. It's not one of those things where it needs too much. And then putting it in was a small task for me. You want to slide this in and then slide down. because there's going to be a groove here to where you can hold it within a certain point, and then voila, you can get your Zedd on. Zedd doesn't do too much without his staff, so he can pretty much always be seen with it. And the other accessory that he comes with is actually pretty dope because you get the growth bombs from Power Rangers when he appears to throw them down at monsters to make them grow. You know, magic wand. Instead of Rita, who would say, magic wand, make my monster grow, you get him in this form. So you also get left open hand for holding growth bombs in either hand if you want, and one closed fist for the left hand. Oh, sorry, this is the right hand. One closed fist for the left hand. And then you get a cool lightning-like red Zedd effect for his staff. Now, this one actually just folds over and pots on. Whoop. So you can use it at the end of his staff for lightning effects or to do anything or just do this, you know, just look cool. You know, you never know what you want to do with Zedd. But if you want to look menacing, this is it. You know what I mean? And I honestly think the weight of his upper torso is pulling down the rest of his body because the legs are a lot lighter than the upper torso, and I'm really starting to get that feel for it. But this Zedd is actually really, really nice. And I can't believe, I gotta say that they are 4 for 4 so far with me as far as this line goes. And, you know, how much money you actually put into it. Because if you're going to pay $20 for these, I think it's a win situation. You can take the time to paint them up, make them look how you want them to look. And it's less of a risk as, you know, buying a $60, $70 figure and trying to do the same. This one has a great nostalgia factor as well. And it's just overall fun. As my friend Junior would say, the fun factor is there. So this is one of those things I'm easily on board for. And I'm happy I have all 4 of the wave now. Now, real quick, though, we're going to jump into size comparisons. So let's start with that. And the first thing I want to do is I want to jump into a size comparison for Hasbro's Lightning Collection and that of your SHF Power Rangers. So that way, for those of you that have both, can get a feel of where your Zedd will stand with these guys. And I honestly think that having both is really going to be a lot of fun. So as you can see here, he towers over the SHF Rangers, and White Ranger scales a little bit better with him. But if we're talking about a guy who wants to menace over Power Rangers, who are supposed to be teenagers, I think Zedd will go a lot better with the SHF Rangers in terms of beating up on children. You know what I mean? So, and I know I put emphasis on that because it's like, if they're going to be adults fighting him, it works well with the Hasbro stuff. But as far as teenagers and spandex go, this is definitely the better feel. You know what I mean? Now, here he is compared to other lines. So let's get that started. One thing I do want to say is, I remember this one episode of Power Rangers called Forever Red that I watched back in the day. I think it was during the Disney era. And Black Beat was there as a recolor. So I just want to put Black Beat there to show you guys how Black Beat looked next to him. So I just want to do that for anybody who had nostalgia like I did. I just needed to get that out of my system. Here he is next to a Mythic Legion skeleton. And these guys will scale pretty well together as minions for Zedd. I like that a lot. Here he is next to an SH Fig Arts Kamen Rider Kuga, who will look tiny compared to him. And I think this actually serves a very good villain overall for Tokusatsu members. So, very good look. Next up, here he is next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. Here he is next to a Mezco Blade. And Blade is still at the height of Zedd. The Mezco Blade is just so much bigger. He's just bigger than life in so many ways compared to everything else. Here he is next to an Articulated Icons Ninja. Here he is. Oop. Let's fix you up. Here he is next to a Synthetic Human. Voila. Do I have anything else? I think that's just about it. All in all, this is one of those lines where I'm happy to have the whole wave so far. Hopefully I'll get wave 2 as it comes out. And this has been a really nice rundown nostalgia lane, but most importantly, a rundown on the fact that Hasbro is giving us good Power Ranger figures. It's just overall been a wild month so far. So this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to what comes next, and I hope you guys are too. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoy the photos at the end. But as always, do good, be good, drink your water. Later.